Before using the Google Ads Enhanced Conversions extension by VanStudio on your OpenCart site, it's essential to ensure that the Google tag code from Google Ads has already been added. If it has, you can skip this step and proceed directly to installing and configuring the extension. If not, chances are your site, like my demo store, already includes the Google tag code for Google Analytics 4. In this case, Google does not recommend adding another tag, as this can cause the GTag function to be reinitialized, negatively affecting tracking quality. Instead, you should insert a GTag call with the config parameter and your Google Ads ID into the existing tag code. This will be sufficient for Google Ads to track its events, for example, for remarketing, conversions, or enhanced conversions. OpenCart 4 does not include a built-in tool for adding the Google tag code, so in my demo store, I use the free Google Analytics extension by VanStudio. This extension allows you to insert any custom code, including the Google Analytics 4 or Google Ads tags, into the head section of the site. A link to this extension will be provided below the video. In OpenCart 3 and earlier versions, you won't need any additional extension, because the default analytics code field is available by default. To get the code snippet with your Google Ads ID, go to your Google Ads account, navigate to Tools, Data Manager, Manage Google Ads Tag and Installation Instructions, Install Manually. You'll see the Google Tag code field. Since the tag is already added to my demo site, I'll copy only the GTag line with the config parameter and the Google Ads ID and paste it into the existing tag code right after the current config call. After saving the changes, you can check if the code works on the front end using Google Tag Assistant. Add your site's domain in the assistant and start the connection. Your site will open in a new tab, and all tags and events will be passed to the Tag Assistant page. There you can view all added tags with their identifiers and the events with parameters each tag tracks. You can also check if the Google Ads tag is active using a special field in your Google Ads account. It's located just below the tag code field. This field lets you test your site URL, but only if your site is already live on the internet. Once you've confirmed that the Google Ads tag is properly installed and working, you can move on to installing and configuring the Google Ads Enhanced Conversions extension. After purchasing the extension via opencart.com or vanstudio.co.ua, the installation files will be available in the download section of your personal account. In this video, I'll show how this works when purchasing through opencart.com. The download list includes files for different OpenCart versions. Each version also comes with two variants, an English-only version and a multilingual one. For this demonstration, I'll download and install the multilingual version, which differs only in that it includes language files for the settings page in 40+ languages. So if your admin panel uses a language other than English, the module settings page will be displayed in that language. You can also purchase and install the extension via the built-in marketplace in your admin panel, but in this video, I'll demonstrate the process using a downloaded zip file. Go to the extension installer section, upload and install the zip file. After installation, the Google Ads Enhanced Conversions module will appear in the module list and must also be installed. Now you can configure the extension via its settings page. I'll first show you the minimal configuration required to enable tracking, and then we'll look at the available options. Enable the status option, then go to the Conversions tab, which contains the required fields, Conversion ID and Conversion Label. These must be filled in if you want to track Google Ads conversions. If you're already using custom conversion tracking on your site, you can disable this option and leave the fields empty. In my case, I want to enable purchase conversion tracking, so I'll go to my Google Ads account to get the required ID and label. Your account might already contain a purchase conversion event, But if it was created to track the loading of the success page, its settings will not provide the required parameters for module configuration. So in this video, I'll demonstrate how to create a purchase conversion event with the proper settings. Go to Goals Greater Than Summary and select Create a New Event for the website. From the list of event categories, select Purchase and create a new conversion for your website using the Set Up Manually Using Code option. All default values are suitable, so simply create the event and open its settings. The identifiers we need are inside the Google Tag code snippet, but copying them from here is inconvenient. So switch to the Google Tag Manager tab. Although this video demonstrates setup via the Google Tag and the GTag function, the conversion ID and conversion label are the same for both tracking methods. Copy the values and paste them into the module settings. Make sure the conversion ID does not include the AW prefix, only the digits. The Enhanced Conversions and Advanced Settings tabs contain optimal default settings and usually don't require changes. I'll also enable the logging option to view tracking data in the browser console and the module logs in the admin panel. You can disable this after testing. Finally, go to the Help tab and enter your license key/order ID. You can find it in the list of purchases in your personal account on OpenCart.com or VanStudio.co.ua. Now let's place a test order to check if conversion and enhanced conversion tracking are working. I'll use the previously launched connection with Google Tag Assistant. The tracking code is added to the order success page, but only after the first redirect from the checkout page. If you refresh the success page, the code will not be added again to prevent duplicate tracking. And that's it. The express setup for Google Ads conversions and enhanced conversions is now successfully complete. Next, I will walk you through all available settings of the Google Ads Enhanced Conversions extension by VanStudio, step by step. On the first main settings tab, there is a status toggle, which completely enables or disables the extension. Below it, there's a multi-store toggle. This option is hidden if only one store is added in the admin panel. I've previously created an additional store and system, greater than settings, greater than stores, to demonstrate how this feature works. When enabled, a drop-down appears in the upper right corner of the page, next to the Save button. It allows you to configure the extension for each store individually. However, for store-specific settings to take effect, this option must also be enabled in the settings of the default store. If it's disabled in the default store, the extension will use only the default store settings for all stores, even if other stores have their own settings fully configured. Below that is the tracking type switch, which defines how the tracking is implemented. By default, the Google Tag GTag.js method is selected. This works through the GTag function and requires the Google Ads tag to be present on the site, or another Google tag that includes your Google Ads ID. The second option is tracking via Google Tag Manager in the data layer function. In this case, your site must include the appropriate Google Tag Manager code snippets and the GTM container must include a Google Ads tag with the correct ID. The next tab is Purchase Conversion Tracking. It has its own status toggle, which enables or disables purchase tracking only. Then there are fields for Conversion ID and Conversion Label, which must be filled in using values from your Google Ads account. These fields are required if purchase tracking is enabled. The last option on this tab is Currency, which pulls values from the currencies added in the localization section. By default, it's set to multi-currency, meaning the order amount and currency will be tracked in whatever currency the user had selected during checkout. Google will automatically convert the value using its own exchange rate if the tracked currency differs from the one used in your ads account. If you select a specific currency instead, and the user has a different currency selected at the time of conversion, OpenCart will convert the amount before generating the tracking code. So all tracked conversions will be in the same currency regardless of the user's selection. The next tab is Enhanced Conversions. The status toggle enables or disables this feature. To the right, there's the data hashing option, which enables hashing of customer data like name, email, and phone number. If disabled, Google will handle hashing automatically before sending the data to its server. Below that, there are email and phone number toggles. These control whether to include these values in the enhanced conversion tracking code. If the phone number option is enabled, a default phone code dropdown appears. This is used in case a user submits a phone number without a country code, and the system can't detect the user's country automatically. Normally, the country is detected and stored along with the order data, so this value is rarely used. Next, the address toggle enables or disables tracking of full address data. This includes the required fields: first name, last name, postal code, and country, plus optional fields: street address, city, and region, each with its own toggle. When address tracking is enabled, two additional options appear: name source, where you choose which names from the order should be used; address source, where you decide whether to use the billing or shipping address. The next tab is Advanced Settings, designed for compatibility with third-party or custom thank you pages, or to change where the tracking code is inserted on the thank you page. The first option, Event Trigger, lets you edit the OpenCart event trigger that the extension adds in extensions greater than events. By default, it uses a universal trigger suitable for most themes. But if your custom theme uses a different folder or file name for the success page template, you'll need to change this trigger accordingly. You'll also need to change it if you use a third-party extension that generates its own thank you page template. Here are some examples of what the event trigger should look like for different success page template files. Below that, the conversions tracking code group contains two options: search value, a drop-down to choose which HTML tag in the template should be used as the insertion point. By default, it's the closing body tag. Add position, which lets you select whether to insert the code before or after the selected tag. The Enhanced Conversions Tracking Code group has the same two settings. However, when using Google Tag Manager, if both conversion and enhanced conversion tracking are enabled, only a single tracking snippet is generated. In that case, placement is controlled by the conversions tracking code settings only. At the very bottom, there is a button to reset all advanced settings to their default values. The next tab is Logs, starting with a status toggle to enable or disable logging. When enabled, logs of conversion and enhanced conversion events are recorded in a file, displayed below in a read-only field. Logs also appear in the browser console and as pop-up notifications. These notifications are shown only to users who visited the extension settings page in the last 12 hours. There's also an extended logs option that, when enabled, adds all tracked parameters to the logs in browser console. In pop-up notifications, however, only the conversion type and tracking method are shown, just like when extended logs are disabled. Below the logs display, there are buttons to refresh or clear the logs without reloading the page. The final tab is Help, which includes three subtabs. The first one, License, contains a required field license key/order ID. You must enter the purchase ID of the extension from the site where you bought it. This can be OpenCart.com, the OpenCart marketplace, or the developer's site at VanStudio.co.ua. Each live website must have its own license key. You can reuse the same key only for test or local copies of the site. The second sub-tab, Info, shows details about the extension and useful links. The last sub-tab, Support, provides a link to the support request form. By default, some values like the extension name, version, and OpenCart version are sent in hashed format to autofill parts of the form. If you check the option, Provide data to autocomplete support form fields, your site domain, email, and admin name will also be sent automatically. Since I downloaded and installed the multilingual version of the extension, a language switch appears below the Settings tabs. It allows you to switch the settings page to any of more than 40 supported languages, regardless of the admin panel language. This concludes my overview of the Google Ads Enhanced Conversions extension by VanStudio. You'll find all related links below this video. Thank you for watching, and stand with Ukraine.